Okay, folks, I just pulled these out of the frying pan. Delicious pan-fried haddock. And I squeezed some lemon on there. And I have a nice little wedge for garnish. I'm going to dish those up and eat it. And I'm going to show you how to make it. Hello, everyone. This is going to be a quick, easy recipe to make. And it's delicious. I love pan-fried haddock. So my niece, Olivia with an A, asked me if I would mind doing a video on how to make pan-fried haddock. So here it is. I'll go over the ingredients that I'm going to use. First, I have about a half a cup of flour that I have in this bowl for mixing. I have some seasonings right here. It's a teaspoon of paprika, and I have a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and I've got a pinch of salt and a half a teaspoon of thyme. And then I have a lemon that I'm going to slice up because I love fresh lemon squeezed onto my fish after I've cooked it. And then I have 2 haddock fillets here that I've rinsed off and lightly patted dry so that we can dip them into the flour. You don't need any egg wash or anything like that. And then on over here, I'll just swing the camera around. In my frying pan, you can see I have just enough oil to cover the bottom of the pan. You don't want this drenched in oil, but you want enough that you cover the bottom of the pan. And I have that heating up over medium-low heat. You don't want this bubbling. You want it hot enough that it's going to cook. So let's start putting this stuff together. First thing I'm going to do, sorry for the big turn there, maybe I'll cut that out. First thing we're going to do is get our flour out. We're going to dump our seasonings in, and then we're going to whisk those all together, just like that. Now I've got to wait for the oil to heat up, and I can see I forgot to pour my thyme in there, so I'm going to put the dry thyme in there, whisk that up some more, and then as soon as that oil's heated up, I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready, and then we'll start cooking. And these are only going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to cook, folks. Haddock is a very thin fillet. You can see it's very thin. It's only going to take about a minute or 2 on each side. Stay tuned. So first off, folks, I'll show you how to test whether the oil is hot or not. And I just did this now. Take a wooden spoon, dip it in. If you start to see those bubbles coming up there, see that? You know that oil is hot enough. And again, we want this on very low heat. So I'm going to take my piece of fish here. I'm going to try to do multi-camera angle here. And you can see I'm just dredging that in the flour. You just want to have a nice little coating on there so that you can see the fish is taking on some of that flour sticking to it. And I know I've got way too much flour here for what I'm going to need. So we're going to try to bring you with me as I lower this into the frying pan. You don't want to burn yourself. And just set that into the oil. Now I'm going to do that for the other one, then I'll bring you back. So there you can see it cooking. And again, I've got that on low heat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover on that. I don't have a lot of oil again, but I want it to cook. And I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. This is not going to take long to cook at all. So I'm going to do 1 minute, and then I'm going to flip them over. And they've already been in there for about 30 seconds or so. They only take about 1 or 2 minutes on each side. Stay tuned. I'll bring you back as we flip. Timer's up, folks. Let's see how those are looking. They're looking good. Careful as we flip. I'm going to go for the one that I put in first, which is this one right here. Careful. This is the part that I hate the most, because you don't want to splash. Flip it over. Now remember, these aren't a battered fish. We're just putting some seasoned flour on it. Now I'm going to set the timer on the last part of the cook for 2 minutes. So we're going to leave this go for 2 minutes. I'll bring you back as we flip the lid and see if these bad boys are done. Okay, folks, there goes the timer. Let's have a look. Look at that. Now, you can see on the fish, you see how it's white there? That's not opaque anymore. I know that that fish is done. This is going to be perfect. The big mistake that a lot of people make when cooking fish is they cook it too long and the fish dries out. You want it to still have some moisture left in it. So I'm going to turn that stove off. I'm going to get my plate with the piece of paper towel I have right here. I have a gas stove, so I don't want to set that on fire. And you can see one piece broke already. That's how tender this is. That doesn't matter. It's all going down the same place. Look at that, folks. This is some tender, delicious, pan-fried haddock. And what I like to do, just bring this plate over here. What I like to do is put a little bit of lemon on mine. Put some lemon all over there. And then just for decorations, we'll put a nice little wedge there. That's what we're going to be tasting in a second there, folks. Stay tuned for the taste test. Hello, everyone. So here we are. So I'll come in and give you a close-up view of what we're dealing with here. I'm not sure. I don't have this in selfie mode, so hopefully you can see it good. This is the same as frying an egg. So it's the same amount of time. If you get a nice thin piece of haddock, it only takes you about 3 minutes to cook it all. A lot of people, as I said, make the mistake and they'll cook it 5 minutes on each side or 10 minutes. The fish is going to be all out of its flavor. You only need about 1.5 minutes on each side in total, and you get a nice, delicious, juicy haddock. Not halibut, haddock. That is good. The nice lemony, the lemon adds a good flavor. But you get all of the seasonings. Now you'll notice this isn't battered, so it's seasoned. There still is flour on there, and the seasoning still did permeate, but it's not getting lost with the egg and all. It's not turning it into a batter. It's just going right into the fish. And that's the way that I find it tastes better. You can do it in an egg wash, and you'll get a thicker coating on it, but it's not going to be the same. The flavor will all be in that coating because that flour and the egg is going to mix together and stop it from embedding into the fish. I find it's easier. Just rinse it, pat it dry, coat the fish in it, and I've got enough seasonings there to do another couple haddock if I wanted to. So I mixed up a full half a cup. You might be feeding a family of 4 or 5. That should do you for the whole batch. This is delicious. It's easy to make. I'd encourage you to try it out. There's nothing better. This is getting cool, so I want to eat it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. If you like it, please hit that like button. And if you're new, please consider having a look at the playlist that should be popping up there any minute now, and consider subscribing. Love to have you along for the ride. Right now, I'm going to finish this. So I'm going to say, Jamie, signing off, and thanks again for watching. Let me put a little bit more lemon. Yes. Chicken of the sea.